If you'd like to contact The Michael Coren Show, please write to The Michael Coren Show at 1295 North Service Road, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4X5. Or send an email to michaelcoren@ctstv.com. If you'd like to learn more about CTS, visit our website at ctstv.com.
Welcome back to Michael Coren Show. Mark Steyn being my guest for this full hour. Let's plug his books, because after all, people don't do interviews just for the fun of it, even though I am great fun. America Alone, a famous or infamous book, The End of the World as We Know It. That's out in paperback now. And Lights Out, Islam, Free Speech, and the Twilight of the West, both available in good and bad bookstores. Let's look at it from another point of view. Muslim family, they look around not so much Canada, but parts of Europe certainly, and they see white feral youth, they see promiscuity, they see, I mean, it's not like the movie Harry Brown, but it can be pretty bad stuff going on, and they say, we don't want our kids being part of that. You can understand a parent maybe saying to their children who are Muslim, don't mix with those kids. We want something different.
No, I think that's entirely reasonable when you see these tween. We're not even talking about teenage girls now, but when you see so-called tweens in much of the Western world, looking like skanks or whatever the word is, you know, just but looking like walking around the streets like slatterns, you can understand that if you have a daughter, you would not want them to assimilate into that world. I think that's entirely reasonable. But that is the contradiction of multiculturalism. I wouldn't want my daughter living in that world, but on the other hand, I do not think the answer is to imprison her within a body bag and say that, as in Afghanistan, you are not allowed by law to feel sunlight on your face. I'd like to think there was. I'm not much for the, you know, moderate centrist on the one hand, on the other hand in much of life, but I would like to think there is a middle path between being a drunken 13-year-old slattern face down in a pool of your own vomit in the shopping mall at 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and being some repressed, genitally mutilated girl in a niqab in some backward Islamic self-segregating squat in a European city. I'm happy to check the neither of the above box and say we need something else. But both those identities have flourished in the collapse of Western confidence. And it is precisely because we are so structurally weak, especially in our education. I mean, modern Western education in Canada, in the United States, and Europe is really a form of child abuse. And the result is that careless parents wind up with the drunken slattern face down in her own vomit, and engaged Muslim parents end up taking the kid out of school and putting her in the Islamic body bag. The roots are the same, that in the absence of Western confidence, alternative identities will incubate. And right now, the one that's incubating most effectively is the Muslim identity.
You mentioned that there's two polarized extremes, and you're exactly right. Of course, there is an alternative, and it can be secular and responsible, but most frequently and tangibly, it's Christian-based. It's serious Catholic, evangelical. But these are the two groups who are most despised by the same people who are saying, give the Muslims more of a chance.
Yes, yes. And I think I sometimes think of it like, I live in the state of New Hampshire, which has a very high rate of gun ownership. And often you'll get liberal peaceniks who come to become professors at Dartmouth College and hate gun ownership and don't like gun ownership and don't realize that they're protected because the crazy guy who wants to break into their house and steal their TV can't reliably know which property is owned by the stump-toothed fella in plaid who's going to blow their brains out with his shotgun, and which is owned by the hippy-dippy peacenik liberal Dartmouth professor who, with all the peace and love and interpretive dance fundraising fundraisers for Darfur going on. So the hippy-dippy type doesn't understand that he can be a liberal dweeb because of the broader cultural confidence of the gun-owning nut. And I think many smart atheists have a problem, like even Christopher Hitchens is a smart guy. Richard Dawkins, these are smart guys. They don't understand that their secular atheist identity in itself flourishes within a Judeo-Christian tradition. And the stupidity, how a smart guy like Christopher Hitchens can say that religion spoils everything. You know, music is lousy. The greatest Western music was written to the glory of God. You don't have to believe in God to appreciate the St. Matthew Passion. But to say that religion spoils everything, what the hell is wrong with the St. Matthew Passion? Since art got stripped of any religious component, it's been worthless. Well, not literally worthless. It's a great way for rich Americans to divert money they'd otherwise be spending on sticking cocaine up their nose. But apart from that, the contemporary art market serves no purpose. But how a smart guy can not understand, even as a non-believer, that the Judeo-Christian civilizational contribution is not just to do with a belief system and an afterlife, but has actually made a contribution even for those who do not believe in it. And in that sense, even a smart guy like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens are like the liberal, dweeby, peacenik, anti-gun professor in New Hampshire who doesn't realize that it's all the stump-toothed, plaid-clad crazies around him. That's the reason, armed to the hilt, that's the reason why his $70 TV doesn't get stolen.
Wonderful way to end this interview. Thank you so very much indeed.
Always a pleasure, Michael. This is a great show, and I love being on it.
Thank you. That's it. Now with Mark Steyn. You'll email me. Will it be repeated? Of course it will. Tomorrow, Wednesday, our This Week panel. Until then, take care, God bless, and goodbye.
Michael Coren's wardrobe supplied by Stolleries, serving Canada's business community for over 100 years. Stolleries at Bloor & Young.